Hello, Year One. It's Mrs. Savage here, and welcome to Science Today. So this lesson is for Dyson, for Braille, and for Hopper. And today we are making flapjacks. So our station is going to be my kitchen today, and your kitchen as well, if you are able to make these at home. So remember last week we talked about the ingredients that are in flapjacks. We talked about oats that come from the oat plant. We talked about sugar that comes from sugar cane and syrup that comes from sugar. So today we are going to be making flapjacks. Now, let me just share my screen. If you are not able to make flapjacks at home, that's totally fine. You can follow along with me and you can watch me make the flapjacks, okay? So our objective is, can I identify where food comes from and make flapjacks? So this was the recipe that I shared with you last week. So we have oats, butter, which comes from milk, so not from a plant, and sugar and syrup. So I'm going to share with you two different things you can do. So we have this recipe, which you can make on the stove, and then you can put in the oven if you want. Or there's also this recipe, which you can put in the microwave and then put in the fridge. So I am going to be using this recipe today, and then that is what I will use, but you can use either one, okay? So last week, I had given you this YouTube video to watch on how to make flapjacks, so you can still do that if you'd like. So today we are going to start with our making of flapjacks. So let me, so we've got 250 and 125. Okay, so let's see how this is going to work. I have my scale set up here to do our measuring. I've got my pot here on the stove. Remember, when you are doing any type of cooking at home, that you have your adult with you if you are going to use the stove or the microwave. So the first thing we're going to do before we do any cooking is wash our hands. That's right. So you can pause the video, make sure you go wash your hands for 20 seconds, and then come back when you are ready. Okay? Perfect. So let's get started. So I have my scale here, and it is going to tell me that I have grams. So in our recipe, we needed 250 grams. So I'm going to put this on my scale, and can you see it's getting higher? Okay, so shout when you see 250. What do I have there? 92. Okay, keep going. No, not yet. Ready? Oh, have we gotten, oh, 200, oh, 224. Almost, almost, almost. 249. Oh, 250, fantastic. So I'm going to take my oats and I'm going to put them in my pan. Okay, so put that back. Now we need our butter. So I need to put in 150 grams of butter. Oh, sorry, 125. Okay, so I've got my scale. Oh, 103. So we need to keep getting more. Now remember it said, oh, 124. Let's see if I can get one more gram of butter in there. This might be a tiny bit too much. Oh my goodness, 130, that's too much. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to put that butter into my pan. What I'm going to do now is, if you can see, I'm going to turn my pan on. So remember, you get an adult to help you. Okay, so I've got in here my oats and my butter. Now, why have I turned the stove on? Do you remember? Yes, in my instructions, it said I need to melt the butter. So I've put the butter in there. Can you hear it? It's starting to melt, okay? So I've got the oats in the pan and the butter. So I'll start getting that butter to start melting. That will be nice. So let's have a look then at our recipe. So it says to heat the oats, butter, sugar, and golden syrup into a pan on the stove until melted. So I've put in my 125 of butter. Now I need 125 of sugar and 2 to 3 tablespoons of syrup. So can you hear that? You see it cooking? Starting to melt. So let me get my sugar. So it needs to be on 0. You remember how much sugar? 125. I've got brown sugar. So let me hear you say, we got 125. Almost 2, 3, 5. Perfect. So I'm going to take that and put it in my pan. Oh, it's sizzling a lot. My butter is starting to melt. My sugar is dissolving into my butter. Oh, now, well done. That looks fantastic. Now, what do I need? I need to put in my syrup, don't I? So you can see, starting to mix all together. Now, for my syrup, it said 2 to 3 tablespoons. And it said, you can put in, so I've got my syrup here. Now, if I look at my syrup, it contains, where did it say? It's for, yeah, golden syrup. Oh, delicious for sugar. So here, can you count with me to do, oh, it's a big spoonful. There I go. So there, I'd probably be already, probably 2 spoonfuls of honey already. Do 1 more, or syrup. Do 1 more because Mrs. Savage likes really, can you see that syrup going in? Really gooey flapjacks. Okay, so I'm going to mix that all up together. Oh, I can hear it sizzling. And you see it's mixing up all together. Oh, so delicious. Now that it's getting, I have to be quick because I don't want it to harden before I'm ready. So it said to get a pan. Here, I've got my pan, and it said to put a little bit of butter in the pan so that it doesn't, that flapjacks don't stick to the pan. So what I do, got some kitchen towel, got my butter. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the butter on, and I'm going to rub it on. So this will help keep the flapjacks from sticking to my pan, and it'll be easier for me to get them out. So what ingredients are we using that come from plants? Can you tell me? Well done if you said oats and sugar. So I'm going to put there's my tray. My flapjacks are all melted together. I'll mix it. I'm going to take them. Oh, wow. Okay, now it said to use my spoon. I'm just going to get a little bit. Take my other spoon to get some of the flapjacks off. Okay. Now I'm going to flatten them down. You want to make it even. You don't want to make it too spread out, but that looks good. Now, what I'm going to do is I like my flapjacks gooey. So I am going to keep them in the fridge. If you cook them, then they'll be drier and harder. But I like to keep mine gooey. So there we go. So can you see? Look at my flapjacks now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the fridge, let them to cool. And then when they're ready, we'll take them out and we'll cut them open and we'll have a bite. Okay? So have fun. Make some flapjacks at home if you can. If you're not able to make flapjacks, you want to make something else, that's fine. You can. Just tell me what ingredients you use. Have you used flour, which comes from wheat, or any other ingredients? Have you used some fruit that comes from the plant? So I will see you in a minute or in a little bit once my flapjacks have cooled down, and we will give them a taste. So I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back, year one. So have you finished making your flapjacks? I just took mine out of the fridge and they look delicious. I can't wait. Now, the best thing about science is when we do experiments, when we do activities like this, we're using lots of different skills. We used maths when we were reading the scale for our looking at our ingredients, how much to measure. We were using our reading by following a recipe. So it's great that we can do these kind of fun activities, but also learning and doing lots of other things at the same time. Now, for our flapjacks, some people wanted to add raisins or dried fruit. You can definitely add that because those come from plants as well. Also, you can be a little bit cheeky like me and maybe put some melted chocolate on top. Did you know chocolate comes from a plant? It comes from the cocoa bean. So there are foods all around us and they come from plants. It's amazing. So if you weren't able to make flapjacks, I hope you enjoyed watching me make flapjacks, and maybe one day you'll be able to. But you can also make other things like pancakes. Pancakes you make with flour, or if you made biscuits or bread. Also, you can make any type of like vegetable dish. You could make a chili or a curry, and they're full of vegetables and they are from plants as well. So think about it, rice and corn and bread and pasta, they're all from plants. So I am going to go have a cup of tea, and did you know my tea is from the black tea leaf, which is a plant. Your mom and dad, if they drink coffee, it comes from the coffee bean. So lots of foods around us come from plants. So I'm going to go have a nice cup of tea, eat one of my flapjacks, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.